Sega Saturn was released in Japan on the 22nd of November 1994, it had no mascot. Not in the sense of Sonic, whose games were the core of the Genesis, but no mascot in the sense of promoting the console. One of the few brilliant decisions by Sega's upper management during the turbulent times of the mid to late 1990s was the decision to have a mascot promote the console, hiring the well-known television actor Hiroshi Fujioka. Sega created the character of Segata Sanshiro. The idea would be that Segata would help to promote the Saturn and boost the low sales of the console. The first commercial starring Segata first aired in Japan in the summer of 1997, years after the Saturn had already been released. The character had the premise and concept of being a legendary martial arts master telling people to play the Sega Saturn. Segata often appeared in commercials in the years of 1997 and 1998. With Fujioka having actual real experience in martial arts, so the commercials of him using attacks, throws, and related strikes actually looked authentic to the viewer and were performed flawlessly. A number of commercials that Segata were in promoted the Saturn games such as Burning Rangers, Sonic R, Winter Heat, among others. Fujioka also recorded his voice for radio advertisements for the Saturn as well. His name, Segata Sanshiro, is actually similar to the phrase he mentioned, Segata Sanshiro. You must play the Sega Saturn. Fujioka later commented that he was impressed with Sega's concept of Segata and thought the commercials were good for children and young people in general. As a result of Fujioka's well-known image in Japan, as well as the superb commercials, sales of the Sega Saturn actually rose as a result of Fujioka's work. The theme song for Segata proved to be so popular that it would be re-released and sold as a record track, and sold successfully across Japan at the time. Fujioka promoted the console at various events from those years, but in late 1998 the next Sega console would be released, the Sega Dreamcast. From a business point of view, it wouldn't make much sense for Segata to promote the Dreamcast when the Japanese public identified the character so much with the Sega Saturn. With development of the Saturn ending and support for the Dreamcast just beginning, the final commercial of Fujioka promoting the Saturn as Segata had him protecting Sega employees from a villain firing a missile launched at Sega headquarters in Japan. The character dies as a result, saving lives. However, Fujioka had earned so much respect as Segata, and Sega management, knowing that the character was still popular with the Japanese public and gamers, he reprised the role at the launch of the Dreamcast in Japan, and even a few more times soon after. Video game commentators have said that the marketing strategy and concept of Segata was crucial in the building up of support for Sega, which had already been badly shaken during the time of the Sega CD and 32X. Despite the Saturn being a rush console and not using its full potential, Segata helped to bring back support for Sega consoles and the Sega company in general, and is now considered one of the best advertisement campaigns in Japanese gaming history. Segata Sanshiro even had his own game for the Japanese Sega Saturn console, which sold relatively well. As a result of the character's broad appeal in Japan, Segata appeared in various games and referred to by other characters within Japanese gaming at the time. It's been said that the concept of Segata Sanshiro was uniquely that of the mid to late 1990s in Japan, or even video games as an industry. Within Japan, many who remember the original airings of the commercials refer to them fondly as part of their childhoods, and in some situations within Japan, Segata is respected within Japan as much as Sonic in terms of a mascot for Sega merchandise or products, or even the company itself.